Hey, kia ora whānau. How's it going? It's Leewai here. Old Portai, it's getting a bit hakuri. Sweetie, mahi. Welcome back to Tamatea Kai Backyard Gardens. You're in my backyard garden, and today is Tamatea Kai Ariki, or another name is Tamatea Whakapau. Tomorrow is Huna, and really in this kind of cycle that we're in, it's not necessarily a good time to planting or harvesting per se, or fishing, but I like the word Tamatea Kai Ariki. It conjures up those proverbs or whakatauaki or whakatauki, te kai o te rangatira he kōrero, the food of the chiefs is conversations. So even though we may not necessarily be working hard in the mana today or tomorrow, it does give us time to have a kōrero and think about what we might be doing. And so that's what we're going to be doing today. Click the like button, click the share button, and yeah, we're going to have a bit of a talk about what's going on in our mara and some lessons that we might learn for us today in our own lives. I'm standing here in my backyard garden underneath the Fijoa trees that we've got here. So those of you who've been following us, you'll see, and if you actually have a look back, you'll see the end of when was it? End of June? No, May, June last year. End of the autumn phase here in Aotearoa. I pruned these back real hard, and you'll see some pics of probably about now. That have some really good fruit on it, and so part of the husbandry or the caretaking of the mara is there are things that you need to prune back, there are things that we need to pull up, and things that we need to put back into the soil. I'm recording this in front of my worm farm, and so I'm having to nurture that, so that it gives me worm castings and worm juice because I put it into the soil. So there's this cycle of intentionally caring for the soil, caring for the roots, caring for the plants that we put in, and sometimes it needs pruning, and like I did on these two here, now we've got big fruit. So in our own lives, if we take that into a metaphor in regards to us personally, each and every one of us have got things that we need to prune in our lives, and it's not easy at times. That pruning can come through training, it can come through conflict, it can come through the offence that we get from others, because quite often we try to justify ourselves rather than actually looking at what the offence is doing. Why am I reacting to that? And what's the triggers that have been pulling me off? Are there blind spots in my life that are causing those types of triggers? Or it could be just the life cycles that we're going through, and the seasonal things that we have, whether it's in summertime, autumn, spring and winter. And often folk that are struggling, they actually don't know what season they're in, and so they kind of get lost in the flow of the river of life and what's happening. But these trees are pretty heavy now. Got fruit on this branch here. It's weighing right down, and this bit, that one there, that's travelling up that way. It was all nice. Now it's got fruit on it. It's just bowing down with the fruit. But to get that, I had to prune it. So that's one thing. Just thinking about what are those things in our lives that we need to be pruned on, and those can happen in a number of ways. This phase that we're in, the moon cycle, it's kind of cool when you think about how doing particular things in a mara can help, and the timings of that. So we had a workshop here a couple of weekends ago on seed germination, and it was at the end of the last moon cycle, and so we're at the end of the maramataka, and which is a good time to actually do seed germination, which we've got raising on our germination beds over there. But today we're looking at Tamatea Kai Ariki, and it's the 8th, 9th day. Tomorrow's Hunat, Arai is following that, and they are not necessarily helpful days for doing quite detailed things in the mara, so your actions may be soft, and as the whakatauaki says, te kai o te rangatira he kōrero, this time of the maramataka might be good to have a kōrero. If you're in your garden, you might be having a kōrero about your mara. If it's about what's going on in your whānau, it might be a good time to have a kōrero and sit down and have a yarn as a whānau and see how you're tracking, touch base, catch up, and see where things are at. If your life's busy, it could be a time to take a pause or take a knee, do a bit of a nav check, touch base with folk that you haven't caught up with for a little while, and just have a chat, have a kōrero, find out where they're at and what's going on. If you know there are whānau within your family groupings or your social networks that have mental health issues, it could be a good time to touch base with them and see that they're okay. But the idea of the kai o te rangatira he kōrero, this time of kōrero, speaking, catching up, planning, contemplating, reflecting, and in the midst of that, this principle hopefully will emerge of marama or maramataka, where new insights or new vision or revelation comes to us. That's one of the beauties of kōrero. I think today in our world we have too many people shouting at each other and they're not listening. They rather speak and want to be heard and not listen and hear. He who has an ear to hear, let them hear what the Spirit is saying. And so we need to do less of this and more of this in our lives. And listening not only to other people, but listen to the land, you know. What's the land telling me about where I should plant something? What's the trees telling me about what I need to feed it? I think one of the other things that's really helped these trees here, I've regularly been putting my worm juice around the roots or the base of it and just feeding it heaps of good kai into that. And that may be the thing for us as well. Anyway, these are my ponderings. Today, what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to check my kumara, which is through there. So I'm in a real tricky stage now. I planted them at Christmas time, knowing that I'm not going to be using those ones as my store kumara, but rather they'll be eating kumara over winter. So I now, as we move through autumn and through these moon phases, I need to be keeping a close eye on the rain, because if I leave them in there too long and it gets too wet, they'll rot. And we're quite busy over the next 3 weeks. So we've got a noho down at Tauranga Moana to Whitu o Tarangi Marae this weekend. Next weekend we've got an Easter hui over at Manaia Baptist Camp grounds, and then the following weekend that we're going down to Nelson for the festival for Wakahaurua and supporting Caleb, our son, who's involved with those. Manaki Nui's this weekend, and our whānau are doing the church camp this Easter, and so there are lots of things happening. So in the midst of all doing those other activities, I need to be cognizant of what the mara's telling me and what the environment's telling me and what the maramataka's telling me, so that I keep informed and keep an eye on my hua and my fruit and vegetables. And that's a similar process for us as we consider things in this moon phase. Tamatea Kai Ariki. Consider things with each other, touch base with each other, and maybe out of that revelation will come, or maramataka will come, understanding, clarity, vision, purpose, all those great things that help us live life life in this forest. Anyway, that's my kōrero for today, and have a great time. Yeah, that's a little bit of what we're doing, and I'll be putting up some more videos on our germination process. And yeah, hey, kona whānau, God bless, and have a great day. All right, hey, kona.